Breakfast, one of the most important meals of the day. Could there possibly be physics here? Today I'm going to explain to you what the Cheerio effect is, and how we can see physics in our everyday lives.
Do you ever wonder why cereal sticks to the edges or sometimes clumps to the center? You may or may not have noticed this, but this is called the Cheerio effect. The Cheerio effect, discovered by two mathematicians in 2005, is a relatively simple concept, but let me show you.
Well, cereal is less dense than water, and milk is mostly water as is. There's a force pushing upward on the cereal called the buoyant force. It pushes against the cereal till it matches the force of gravity, thus making the object buoyant, or in other words, it floats. But just because cereal floats, it doesn't explain why the cereal will clump together like that, and it also doesn't explain why they move to the edge of the bowl like that. Well, this is explained by the meniscus effect. Water molecules are so tightly bound they form a slight U-shape towards the edges of the bowl. The buoyant objects tend to float towards the edges of the bowl because that's the highest point of water. It also explains why they stick together. Any two or more Cheerios create a new high point in the water, so they both travel to each other's high point and stick together. The same concept also applies to paper clips. As we see, we just saw those two stick together and then move to the edge of the bowl. The same idea applies to paper clips. As we can tell, the silver paperclip and the green paperclip have both sunken in water because they were dropped in. But this floating paperclip was slowly lowered into the water. But if it initially sinks and paperclips are denser than water, then why does this one float? Well, that's because of surface tension of the water. Water molecules can be so tightly bound that they can act as a membrane for the paperclip to rest upon. Soap can easily ruin the fun time that the paperclip is having. When we put the soap in, we can see that the surface tension of the water changes. That's what the soap does. And when the surface tension changes, then that means that the paperclip will sink to the bottom. In a short explanation in a video demonstration, this is basically what the Cheerio effect is. I will go into further, more in-depth explanation in the slide presentation.